Take a deep breath in, and as you gently exhale, let the weight of your day begin to melt away. Feel your body settling comfortably, your mind growing softer, like the quiet evening folding itself around you. Let your eyes close if they wish, or simply lower your gaze and imagine the gentle embrace of a calm, peaceful night. The air is cool and fragrant, touched by whispers of wild herbs and soft rustling leaves. Our story tonight begins in a small, hidden glade, cradled by ancient trees whose branches sway gently with the breath of a mild evening breeze. Here, deep in a forest that seems to hold the secrets of countless centuries, lives a kindly hedge-witch, a woman both wise and tender, who tends her craft with patience and love. She is known by the nearby villagers, not with fear, but with quiet respect. Her hands are skilled at mixing herbs and tinctures, and her voice is a soft murmur that seems to settle even the most restless heart. In her little cottage, nestled between mossy stones and flowering shrubs, she keeps a special treasure, an hourglass carved from bone and amber, worn smooth by time and care. As the twilight deepens, the witch carefully turns the hourglass, and the fine, golden sand begins its steady fall. The grains are tiny, but they mark moments just as precious as the sun's slow sinking below the horizon. With the hourglass measuring time, she prepares her brews, mixtures of chamomile, valerian, and lavender, all steeped slowly to capture the gentlest of their healing whispers. The soft bubbling of boiling herbs joins the quiet chorus of the night, a lullaby of simmering leaves and the faint crackle of a hearth fire. The witch's hands move with grace, folding in fresh mint, sprigs of rosemary, and dried blossoms picked beneath the silver moon. Each movement is measured, each breath taken with care. As the hourglass counts, the moments that make magic. Outside, the forest listens, a breeze stirs the tall grasses, and the leaves above murmur softly, like a whispered secret just for you. Imagine yourself there beside the hedge-witch, feeling the warm glow of the fire, inhaling the delicate scent of herbs mingling with the crisp night air. As the last grains of sand slip through the narrow neck of the hourglass, the witch lifts her cup, the brew steaming gently. The herbal aroma is calming and sweet, like a promise carried on the wind, a promise of rest, of healing, of peaceful sleep. In this moment, the slow turning of time feels like a gentle wave washing over your spirit, easing tension and inviting stillness. Let your thoughts drift as easily as the sands in the hourglass, flowing steadily without hurry, without resistance. Each sip the witch takes is filled with intention, to heal, to calm, to soothe. She believes that the herbs do not work alone, but that time, careful watching, and the quiet strength of hope are just as powerful. Imagine your own heart slowing its pace, your breath growing deep, and even wrapped in the same calm magic. The fire flickers softly, casting shadows that dance like gentle spirits across the worn wooden walls. The witch hums a low tune, a melody carried through generations, as ancient and comforting as the earth beneath your feet. Now, as the night deepens and the stars begin their silent watch, the witch places the empty hourglass back on its shelf. Tomorrow she will turn it again, measuring time in grains of gold, marking the moments of care and quiet magic to fill her days. But for now, in this peaceful moment, you are wrapped in the same stillness, the hourglass within you ticking gently, carrying you closer to the land of dreams. Let your mind picture the soft rustle of leaves, the sweet scent of herbal brews, and the gentle warmth of a hearth that never grows cold. Feel the tension leave your shoulders, the weight lift from your chest. Imagine yourself sinking deeper into comfort, as if you were cradled by the forest itself, safe, calm, and utterly at peace. With every breath, you move closer to rest. Your eyelids grow heavier, your thoughts quieter. The gentle tick of time is a rhythm that soothes, a heartbeat that matches your own slowing pulse. The witch's hourglass reminds us that time, like sleep, is a gift to be cherished, honored, and welcomed. with open arms. Tonight, you have shared in this quiet ritual, this soft spell of calm and care. And as you drift deeper, let your heart hold this gentle image. The warm light of the hearth, the golden fall of sand, the scent of healing herbs, and the quiet strength of a kind hedge witch who watches over the night. As you settle further into this peaceful moment, imagine the slow dance of shadows cast by the firelight, each flicker like a gentle sigh, telling stories older than the stars. The witch moves quietly through her cottage, her footsteps soft against the wooden floor, each one a step in a ritual practiced long before you came to rest here tonight. The hourglass sits patiently on its carved wooden stand, its ember glow catching the flickering light just so. You can almost hear the faint, steady sound of sand slipping, grain by grain. A whisper of time passing that feels both eternal and intimate. Outside, the forest breathes, with a slow, steady rhythm. The wind sighs through the branches, carrying with it the distant hoot of an owl, a guardian of night and dreams. The scent of earth and damp moss drifts gently through an open window, mingling with the warmth inside. The witch gathers fresh herbs from a small garden tended with love and care. She touches each leaf lightly, honoring the ancient wisdom held within their veins. The dew on the leaves glistens like tiny jewels, and the cool night air wraps around her like a soft shawl. She hums a quiet tune, a melody like a lullaby, carrying the gentle promise of rest. Her voice is barely more than a breath, but it fills the room with comfort, like the embrace of a close friend. With careful hands, she prepares a new brew, filling a small cauldron with water and a handful of fragrant herbs. The fire crackles softly beneath, sending up spirals of warm, herbal-scented steam that rise and curl, inviting you to breathe deeply and relax even more. Feel your body sinking deeper, your muscles softening, as if you too are wrapped in the gentle warmth of the cottage. The world outside fades away, replaced by this quiet sanctuary where time moves slowly and gently, just like the sand in the witch's hourglass. The witch lifts the hourglass once more, turning it carefully, so the golden grains begin their descent again. Each grain counts a moment, a heartbeat, a breath, a second of calm and healing. As you listen, imagine yourself seated near the hearth, the flickering firelight warming your skin. The scent of herbs and wood smoke mingles softly around you, wrapping you in a cocoon of peace. Outside the window, the stars twinkle quietly, their light gentle and steady. The moon hangs low and full, casting a silver glow that touches the leaves and the earth. With a soft, calming light, the witch takes a small cup of the warm herbal brew and sips slowly, her eyes closing as she savors the taste and the calm that follows. You too can imagine tasting the soft sweetness of chamomile and the subtle earthiness of valerian, the soothing touch of lavender on your tongue. With every sip, feel your breath grow slower, deeper. Your heartbeat softens, steadying into a gentle rhythm that matches the falling sand. Imagine the calm spreading through your body, from your head to your toes, like a warm wave washing away any tension or worry. The witch whispers an ancient blessing, words that seem to drift like a soft breeze. May peace find you in the night, and may your dreams be light as the falling sand. Her voice is a gentle thread weaving through the quiet of the room, wrapping you in comfort and calm. Outside, the forest night hums quietly, the soft chirp of crickets, the rustle of small creatures moving through the underbrush. The air is cool and sweet, filled with the scent of earth and rain-soaked leaves. Imagine the soft brush of leaves against your skin, the gentle caress of a nighttime breeze that carries away worries and invites deep rest. The witch's hands are steady as she sets the cup down and reaches for a bundle of dried lavender. Tying it carefully with a piece of worn twine, she hangs it near the window, where the night air can carry its soothing scent through the cottage. The fire dims slightly, its embers glowing softly, like tiny stars fallen to rest. The hourglass continues. It's slow, steady work, marking moments of calm and quiet, moments for healing and sleep. Feel yourself becoming lighter, as if you too are grains of sand, slipping gently through the narrow glass of time. Each moment carries you further from waking thoughts and deeper into the realm of dreams. The witch settles into her chair by the hearth, her shawl wrapped warmly around her shoulders. Her eyes are soft and kind as she watches the fires dance. Imagine yourself sitting there beside her, feeling the quiet companionship of this gentle guardian of night. There is no rush here, no hurry, only the steady passage of time measured by sand and heartbeats. Listen to the soft crackle of the fire, the whispered sigh of the night wind, the gentle ticking of the hourglass. Your breath is slow and even. Your mind is calm. Your body is ready to drift. In this sacred moment, the world holds its breath with you. Time slows, allowing rest to take root and grow. The witch closes her eyes, listening to the forest's song. You to close your eyes fully now, letting the soft sounds and scents wrap around you. Imagine the warmth of the hearth, the gentle light of amber and bone glowing in the hourglass, the scent of herbs filling the air. Feel your heartbeat sinking with the slow fall of sand. And as your body relaxes deeper still, know that you are safe here, cradled in a world of quiet magic and ancient care. The night stretches on, soft and unhurried, like the gentle drift of clouds across a moonlit sky. The witch's cottage rests quietly in the heart of the forest, a haven woven from stone, wood, and the sweet scent of herbs. Outside, the trees stand tall and still, their branches whispering lullabies only the night can hear. Imagine yourself reclining on a soft mossy bed just beyond the cottage door, cradled by nature itself. The ground beneath is cool but comforting, holding you gently as a mother's arms might. The scent of pine and wildflowers drifts on the breeze, mingling with the faint aroma of smoke from the hearth. The hourglass remains steady on the shelf, its golden sand falling silently in a slow, soothing rhythm. The witch moves about quietly, her hands gentle as she tends her plants and potions. She works not with haste, but with patience and care, knowing that the true magic is in the waiting, in the watching, in the letting time pass. Just so her fingers brush over jars filled with dried roots, petals, and powders, each one gathered at the perfect moment, each one carrying the quiet power of the earth. The light from the fire glows softly against the amber glass of the hourglass, making it seem as though time itself is captured within. The witch pauses, inhaling deeply the fragrant air, and smiles softly. She knows that healing is not rushed, that peace grows in the spaces between moments, where the world slows and breath deepens. Now, imagine yourself drawing a slow, deep breath, filling your lungs completely, and exhaling with a sigh. Feel your body melting deeper into comfort, your muscles unwinding, your mind growing still. The crackling fire plays its gentle song, weaving warmth through the room. The scent of lavender and sage mingles with the wood smoke, wrapping you in a calm embrace. The witch begins to hum once more, a tune as old as the forest, soft and sweet. Her voice flows like a river of silk, carrying with it the quiet promise of rest. Imagine yourself carried on this melody, floating effortlessly on gentle currents of sound and scent. Outside the window, the stars blink softly, their light distant but steady. The moon hangs low, a silver guardian watching over the night. The witch's hourglass ticks on, measuring moments of quiet and healing. Each grain of sand marks a second, a breath, a heartbeat, a gentle step closer to peaceful sleep. Now, picture yourself reaching out to touch the hourglass, feeling its cool surface and the smooth curve of amber and bone. The sand slips quietly through, a reminder that time is a gift to be treasured. Feel the steady rhythm settling into your own heartbeat, guiding you gently downward into rest. The witch returns to her brewing, pouring water over herbs that whisper with ancient secrets. The steam rises like soft mist, curling around you like a tender shawl. Imagine tasting the warm, soothing brew, notes of honey, wildflowers, and earth, a drink made not just to heal the body, but to calm the spirit. With every sip, your breath grows deeper, your mind softer. The world outside fades, leaving only the warm glow of the hearth and the steady fall of sand. The witch places a small bundle of dried herbs near the hearth. Lavender for calm, rosemary for clarity, chamomile for peace. The scents mingle in the air, creating a gentle perfume that lingers like a whispered promise. Feel the fragrance, fill your senses, soothing your thoughts and guiding you toward rest. Outside, the forest hums with life. The soft chirping of crickets, the rustle of leaves stirred by a quiet breeze, the distant call of an owl. Imagine yourself wrapped in this natural symphony, your body relaxed, your mind drifting lightly, like a feather floating on the wind. The fire crackles low now, its warm light fading to a soft glow. The witch sits quietly, her shawl wrapped close, watching the final grains of sand slip through the hourglass. Imagine your eyelids growing heavier, your thoughts becoming slower, your breath steady and calm. The witch's voice returns, barely more than a whisper. Rest now, and let the night carry you gently into dreams. The hourglass turns, and with it, time cradles you in its quiet hands. Feel yourself surrendering fully to the peaceful darkness, the safe stillness of the night. The last grains of sand fall, and the witch gently turns the hourglass again, beginning the cycle anew. And as you drift deeper, your body soft and warm, your mind calm and free, know that you are held by a quiet magic, the magic of time, intention, and gentle care. The forest sighs softly around you, the stars watch kindly, and the witch's hourglass marks the rhythm of rest. Sleep now, wrapped in peace and healing, carried gently on the wings of night. As you drift deeper into this gentle night, imagine the soft pulse of the earth beneath you. Steady, warm, and full of ancient strength, the soil cradles roots and secrets alike, holding the quiet magic of growth and renewal. The witch's cottage rests firmly on this sacred ground, a place where time flows slowly and softly, like the drifting sands in her hourglass. The fire's glow softens now, its warmth spreading quietly through the room. The witch moves with practiced grace, gathering dried herbs from wooden shelves. Each bundle is tied with care, a fragrant reminder of the seasons past and the healing they bring. Imagine the scent of sage and thyme rising in the air, mingling with the cool night breeze that slips through a slightly open window. The gentle rustle of leaves outside is like a lullaby, sung by the forest itself to soothe your weary soul. Feel the calm deepening within you, a soft tide washing over every part of your being. Your breath grows slow and steady, matching the rhythm of the falling sand in the hourglass. The witch lifts the small sandglass once again, turning it gently so the golden grains begin their descent. Each grain marks a moment, a heartbeat, a breath of peace flowing through the night. As the herbs steep and the water simmers, you can almost hear the soft bubbling, a sound as comforting as a whispered secret. The steam rises, curling and twisting like smoke from an ancient spell, filling the room with warmth and calm. The witch takes a deep breath, savoring the rich herbal aroma. Her eyes close softly, and a peaceful smile graces her lips. Imagine yourself there with her, sharing this quiet moment of reverence and care. The gentle hum of the forest night surrounds you, the faint call of a night bird, the rustle of a fox moving through the underbrush, the steady whisper of the wind weaving through the trees. Picture the moonlight filtering through the canopy, casting dappled patterns of silver and shadow across the forest floor. The air is cool, clean, and full of the subtle sweetness of blooming night flowers. Feel the peacefulness settling into your heart, like a warm blanket wrapped snugly around your shoulders. Your body relaxes more with each breath, your mind letting go of the day's concerns. The witch pours the herbal brew into a small cup, its surface shimmering with steam. She raises it slowly, eyes meeting yours in a quiet moment of connection. The warmth of the cup seeps into her hands, a tangible comfort. Imagine yourself reaching out to take the cup, feeling the heat warm your palms, the gentle scent of herbs rising in soft tendrils. As you take a sip, the flavors unfold gently, the calming notes of chamomile, the grounding touch of valerian, the sweet hint of lavender. Each taste carries with it a wave of peace, spreading softly through your body. Feel your muscles releasing tension, your heartbeat slowing, your thoughts growing calm and still. The witch whispers softly, "Time is a healer, and patience a gift." Let yourself be cradled in this moment, wrapped in quiet care. Outside, the forest night sings its lullaby, the steady chirping of crickets, the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze, the distant hoot of an owl watching over the sleeping world. Imagine yourself wrapped in this natural symphony, your body sinking deeper into comfort, your mind drifting lightly, like a leaf floating on a calm stream. The fire in the hearth dims further, its embers glowing softly like tiny stars fallen to rest. The hourglass counts down its last few grains, marking the passage of moments filled with peace and healing. Feel your eyelids growing heavy, your breath soft, and even the quiet magic of this night wraps around you like a gentle shawl, holding you safely as you drift toward rest. The witch places the empty cup beside the hearth and settles back into a chair, her shawl wrapped warmly around her shoulders. Her eyes shine softly in the firelight, full of kindness and quiet strength. Imagine yourself sitting there beside her, sharing in this sacred moment of stillness and calm. The hourglass turns again, beginning its slow, steady measure of time, each grain falling like a soft heartbeat, a gentle pulse guiding you deeper into rest. Feel your body growing lighter, your mind quieting, your spirit calm. The witch's voice returns, barely more than a whisper. Rest now, and let the night carry you gently into dreams. Time flows softly, and peace is yours to hold. As you drift deeper into sleep, imagine the soft rustle of leaves, the sweet scent of herbs, and the warm glow of amber and bone glowing softly in the hourglass. Know that you are safe, cradled by the gentle magic of time, intention, and quiet care. Sleep now, wrapped in peace and healing, carried gently on the wings of night. The forest breathes a little slower now, as if it too is resting. The tall trees sway only slightly in the breeze, their limbs growing still beneath the moon's silvery gaze. Within the warm embrace of the witch's cottage, time seems to fold in on itself, neither moving forward nor back, but gently circling, like the grains of sand slipping through her hourglass. The witch stirs another blend in her cauldron, this one meant for dreams. Petals of blue poppy, slivers of dried apple bark, a pinch of all brought together in a quiet swirl, each ingredient added with care, each stir matched to the rhythm of the falling sand. It's not just a recipe, it's a ritual, one passed down through time, rooted in the wisdom of patience and peace. Outside the cottage, a fox pads silently through the ferns. Its golden eyes flash once toward the window, then disappear again into shadow. The forest accepts its presence without alarm. All creatures here understand the balance of night, the importance of stillness. The hourglass glows faintly in the heartlight, its ember sides catching the flicker of flame like a lantern holding starlight. You can almost hear the tiny grains landing below. Soft, steady, hypnotic, a sound that draws you inward, deeper into calm, deeper into trust. The witch lights a candle made of beeswax and herb oil, placing it gently by the window. Its flame is small but bright, a steady point of warmth in the dark. She believes that dreams are drawn to light, and this little flame will guide them to gentle sleepers like you. Imagine the wax slowly softening, the scent of rosemary and sweetgrass curling into the room like a ribbon of warmth. The air glows golden. The warmth makes your eyelids heavier, your shoulders looser. You feel yourself melting further into the moment. The brew finishes its simmering. The witch pours it through a cloth of muslin, filtering out the petals and bark, leaving only golden liquid, thick, warm, and shimmering. She doesn't drink this brew herself. It's meant for dreamers, not makers. She pours it into a small glass bottle with a cork stopper and carries it to her shelf. Her collection of dreams, sealed and safe. The shelf holds vials of every kind, some deep green like moss, others pale blue like ice. A few shimmer faintly with colorless light, glowing in ways that can't be described. Each one holds a sleep, a vision, a journey. This one, the golden one, she labels softly with her ink-dipped quill. For gentle hearts and heavy heads, the fire settles lower, its flames now little more than embers. The witch draws a quilt over her lap, made of worn linen and old velvet, stitched with moons and vines. She watches the hourglass as its final sands trickle through, and as she does, she hums once more, a lullaby not meant to be heard by ears, but by the soul. Imagine that sound reaching you now, soft and wordless, not a tune with notes, but a feeling, like the touch of a mother's hand brushing your hair, or the sound of waves far away in the night. You're warm, safe. The outside world no longer presses against you. It's fallen away. All that remains is this moment, this rhythm, this stillness. The candle flickers gently by the window. Outside, the trees sway slower still. The sky above is velvet dark and full of quiet stars. Time has folded its arms around the cottage and sits watchful, silent, and kind. The witch closes her eyes. Her breathing slows. Her body softens. And yet, some part of her remains awake. A presence watching the hourglass, listening to the forest, guarding the sleep of those she watches over. Perhaps that includes you. Imagine her attention resting gently on your dreams. Not intruding, not guiding, but guarding. A silent comfort you can't explain but feel all the same. The room grows darker. The fire's glow is now a heartbeat. The hourglass stands empty again, but no one moves to turn it yet. This is the moment between moments, where time forgets itself, where sleep deepens, where your soul begins to drift. Let yourself go with it. Let your thoughts be like the herbs in the cauldron. Let your body feel as if it were becoming the forest floor, still, rooted, quietly alive. Let your mind drift through the candlelight, rising with the steam, curling through the rafters and out into the night, where dreams wait patiently to find you. And just before sleep takes hold, imagine the witch smiling softly in the dark, one hand on her hourglass, the other over her heart. Sleep has begun, its slow descent upon you now, like a curtain of mist weaving through a silent valley. You are not rushed, not pulled. You are simply being carried, as though gentle hands have lifted your worries and placed them on a high shelf, far from reach. The witch does not rise, nor does she sleep. She simply breathes, in and out, slow and even, as if she too is part of the forest, rooted in its rhythm. Her cottage settles around her like a second skin. The walls, the shelves, the timber beams above all hold her quiet, ancient energy. In the rafters, a soft scratching sound. A little brown bat rustles its wings, shifting its place. It has lived here longer than anyone remembers. It watches the candlelight with glossy black eyes, and then tucks itself back into the hush. Outside, dew begins to form on every leaf and petal. The flowers of night open their secret faces, blooming under the moon's silver touch. A frog croaks once, then silence. Inside, the air holds steady, warm, still, fragrant. The witch rises slowly now, her limbs moving like they remember every step before. Her mind commands them. She takes the empty hourglass from its place and begins to polish it with a cloth made of lamb's wool and thyme oil. Not out of duty, but as one would clean something beloved. Amber smoothed by centuries gleams beneath her touch. Bone, pale and soft like ivory, glows gently under the fingers that know every ridge, every groove. This is no ordinary hourglass. It belonged once to her grandmother's grandmother, and perhaps even further. The story goes that the amber was gathered from the weeping trees near the sea, that it once held the sun, that the bone came from a stag that passed in peace beneath a full moon, and gave itself willingly to magic. The witch, does not speak this aloud. She does not need to. Some things are remembered by the body, not the tongue. She turns the hourglass again. The sand begins its descent. Golden as honey, fine as flour. Its soft, silent flow begins the next measure of night. It's not loud. You don't hear it with ears. You feel it. Behind your ribs, inside your chest. Like the hush of a wave long before it touches the shore. And you know, without knowing why, that something is being healed. She walks to her apothecary shelf. There, tiny drawers wait like unopened letters. She selects one and opens it slowly. Inside, dried blossoms of white clover, curled like sleepy eyelids. She smiles and places a pinch in a clay bowl. Then she chooses another. This one lined in crushed velvet. Inside, polished seeds of moonflower, glossy and silent. She adds one to the bowl. Then another. Then 3 more. She reaches for a water pot, fills it from a pitcher by the window. Rainwater, collected 3 nights ago, and places it over the small flame that still lives in the hearth. The water begins to warm, not boil, just warm. Like the breath of sleep itself, she adds the herbs to the pot and lets them steep, swirling softly. No spoon needed. The herbs know how to find their own way, and you, listening still, begin to sense a shift. Your thoughts no longer line up in order. They drift, they fold, they turn over like leaves caught in a breeze. You don't chase them. You simply let them pass. The witch lights another candle. This one is violet, with wax flecked and crushed petals. The flame blooms and holds steady around it. The scent of night blooming, thick and sweet, heady, meant for dreams, not waking. She sets the candle near the foot of her bed, though she does not yet lie down. Instead, she draws from a shelf a worn and tattered book, bound in leather, the color of smoke. Its pages crackle softly as she opens it. No words are written on the page. Instead, ink symbols swirl, curving like vines, spiraling like clouds, pulsing faintly like stars. This is not a book to be read. It's a book to be remembered. Her fingers move over the markings, not tracing them, but breathing them in, as though each page is a note in a melody, played without sound. The air grows heavier, not with burden, but with fullness, as if something sacred has arrived. The fire flickers once, then grows still again. The hourglass is more than half full below now, the golden sand building a new memory of time past. The witch closes the book. She does not need more. One glance was enough. The symbols will settle into her breath as she sleeps, and into yours as well. Though you won't know it until you dream. She places the book beneath a pillow and finally lies back, her shawl folded over her chest, her hair falling like ink across the linen. She does not close her eyes yet. She waits, just a moment more, because the next part, the deepest part of night is almost here. And when it comes, she will dream with you, not beside you, with you. The deepest part of night arrives, not with noise, but with absence. The wind hushes, the trees go still, even the stars seem to lean closer, their light dimmed into a soft blue shimmer. In this hour, neither dusk nor dawn. The world forgets how to hurry. The witch breathes in once, then releases a sigh so gentle, even the candle flame at her bedside does not tremble. Her eyes close slowly, without struggle. The rhythm of her body shifts, not to sleep, not quite, but to a state that lies beneath sleep, a place where dreams begin to stir, like fish beneath a frozen pond. You are there with her now, in the stillness between heartbeats, in the breath between thought and silence. You don't need to move. You don't even need to try. The world has grown soft around you, your edges blurred, your mind softened like parchment left beneath the sun. From her hourglass, the grains continue to fall, each one like a pulse of warm light, glowing faintly as it lands below. This sand does not mark time as a clock does. It marks change, healing, transition, and the next grains to fall are meant for dreams. The candle by the bed flickers once, then twice, its light no longer golden, but lavender-hued, as if touched by the sky just before morning. This is when the dreaming begins. Not with visions, not with stories, but with a sensation. It begins behind your eyes, a soft hum, a loosening, as though the part of you that always watches has been given permission to rest. And now, something else takes its place. Something older. You drift with the witch now. You are no longer lying in a room or imagining a cottage. You are the steam rising from the herbs. You are the sand falling through the hourglass. You are the hush between night sounds, the stillness between falling stars. You are dreaming together in the dream. The forest is not dark. It glows softly, blue and silver, like the underside of moth wings. The trees lean in to make space, their roots forming a quiet path. The witch walks barefoot, her feet never quite touching the ground, her shawl trailing behind her, like the tail of a comet. You walk beside her, but you make no sound. You are weightless here. In the distance, a great oak waits, its branches stretched so wide they seem to hold the sky in place. Hanging from its limbs are hundreds of tiny hours, each glowing with a different light. Amber, rose, blue, moonlight. Some fall fast, some slow. One hangs motionless, its sand paused mid. You and the witch pause beneath it. She reaches up, but does not touch. Instead, she turns to you, and for the first time, speaks within the dream. This one is yours. You feel the truth of her words before you understand them. That hourglass, that pause in time, has waited for you. It knows the weight you carry. It knows what you've lost. It knows how hard it is to let go. And so it has waited, suspended in patience, in kindness. The witch nods gently, and the sand within begins to move again. Not quickly, but steadily. You watch it fall, one grain at a time. And with each grain, you feel something lift. Not forgotten, but softened. This is not forgetting. This is healing. The forest breathes with you. The witch remains at your side, and you, the dreamer, remain held by the hourglass. Eventually, the sand stops. Not because time has ended, but because the dream has done its work. The witch reaches forward and catches the last grain in her palm. She closes her fingers over it and places her hand against your chest, where your heart beats slow and sure. She doesn't speak again. She doesn't need to. The forest begins to fade. Not vanish, just dim, like candlelight before sleep. The trees blur. The path dissolves, and you feel yourself returning. Not waking, just ... gliding backward, gently. Like the tide returning to the sea, you become aware once more of the room. The faint crackle of coals, the cool scent of night flowers, the softness of your pillow, your breath, your skin, and the witch, too, remains. Still asleep, but smiling, somewhere nearby. Her hourglass stands full again, ready for another turning. But not yet. Now is still night, still dreaming, still time. Let yourself stay here just a little longer, where the magic is quiet and the healing still hums in the air. You are not alone. You are safe, and sleep has not left you. The quiet remains, deeper now than ever, as if even time has paused to listen. The witch's cottage rests in perfect stillness, its windows misted with night, its rafters silent. Outside, the forest has surrendered to the velvet hush before dawn. That sacred hour, when nothing stirs and the world forgets it must wake. You, too, lie wrapped in this moment, not in sleep's first steps, but far inside its embrace, where dreams blend with memory and breath. Your body feels distant now, as light as fog, as soft as down, and yet your heart feels full, held in the same gentle rhythm as the grains still falling in the hourglass nearby. The witch's breath rises and falls, in time with your own. Though her eyes are closed, her presence remains, as if she is watching not with sight, but with knowing, a kind of sensing that weaves through the air. Like incense, she dreams still, not of adventure, nor of danger, but of healing. In her dream, she stands barefoot on a mirrored pond. The water does not ripple beneath her. Instead, it reflects a sky that spins with constellations no map has ever drawn. You float beside her, not walking, not standing, simply present, like starlight. Above, one of the stars flickers and falls, not in fire, but in silence. It lands gently upon the water and becomes a blossom, pale. The witch stoops and plucks the flower with care, cupping it in both hands. "This," she says, "is what you left behind." You recognize it at once, not as an object, but as a feeling, something you had lost so long ago it had slipped into the corners of your mind. A softness, a joy, a bit of self-thought forgotten. She does not press it into your hand. She tucks it beneath your collarbone, placing it just above your heart. It melts into warmth, not heat, but glow, a steady light that begins to pulse, faintly at first, then stronger. It does not wake you, it restores you. All around, the mirrored water begins to shift. Ripples dance outward in slow spirals, not from your presence, but from your healing. The dream responds, welcoming what has returned. The witch rises once more and gives a nod. Not goodbye, not yet, but a promise that all things lost are not gone, that even time can give back what it once took. If you let it fall slowly enough, you drift backward again, through the mirrored pond, through the dream, through the soft, unlit forest of the mind. The stars fade into mist, the water becomes breath, and slowly, you find yourself within the witch's cottage once more. The fire has settled into soft coals. The candle near her bed has melted low, its lavender flame flickering its final light. Dawn has not yet arrived, but it is near. The sky beyond the window is the color of milk and ash, and the hourglass is nearly empty. A few grains remain, suspended in that slender space, where time becomes silence. You listen closely. You can almost hear the hush of the last grains dropping. They fall like the final notes of a lullaby. Not a finish, but a closing. The witch shifts in her sleep, the corners of her mouth curled slightly in contentment. Her hands rest gently atop her belly, the pulse in her wrist, slow and strong. You imagine her waking soon, not with alarm, but with the same quiet ease that guides her every motion. She will rise, stretch, tend the embers, and begin again. Another brew, another hourglass turn, another quiet evening spent with the world. But not yet. Now, it's still part of the spell, still part of the rest. Let yourself remain here, in the hush that follows dreams, where the body remembers it is more than weight, and the mind releases its grip on all it cannot hold. Let your thoughts drift like dandelion seeds in soft air. Let the glow in your chest remain. Let the witch's presence, kind, unhurried, linger in the edges of your mind like the scent of sage, long after the smoke is gone. The final grain falls, and then there is only stillness. No need to rise, no need to stir. This moment was made for you, and it belongs to no one else. Outside the cottage, the sky begins its slow unfurling. Not bright, not yet, but tinged with a softness that hints at morning. A subtle shift in the color of the air, pale blue mixing gently with silver. Shadows pulling back, just slightly, the hush before the songbirds stir. Inside, all remains still. The witch breathes in, breathes out, still resting, still present. Her hourglass now stands quiet, its lower chamber full, the top one empty. A moment paused, a measure of night completed. But there is no need to turn it yet. She sleeps deeply, but not blindly. Her dreams are quiet rivers, flowing beneath the surface of thought, smoothing the stones of memory and care. She has no need to rush through them. She lets them move at the pace of healing. Slow, steady, gentle. And you, nearby, are still folded into this space with her. The warmth of the hearth has cooled to embers, but its comfort lingers in the air, like the afterglow of a smile. The scents of rosemary and lavender hang delicately above the floorboards, caught in the morning draft like petals in a stream. No one speaks. No one moves. Yet everything within you is shifting. Imagine your thoughts like leaves on still water, drifting gently, turning slowly, with no destination and no demand. There is no need to sort or solve. Just notice. Just feel. Just allow. Your breath moves through you like the tide. Each inhale gathers light. Each exhale releases weight. You are not falling asleep now. You are deeper than that. You are in the quiet well beneath dreams, where time folds gently over itself, where care cannot reach you. The witch's fingers twitch in sleep, as though stirring a memory in a dream. Her lips part slightly, and she whispers a word you do not understand, but you feel its meaning like a warmth against your skin. The light beyond the window shifts again. A soft gold begins to press against the horizon, like butter melting on warm bread. A single bird calls out, one note, then silence again. The world is beginning to stir, but not you, not yet. The witch's eyes flutter once beneath her lids, not waking, just acknowledging the shift in the air, the presence of dawn drawing near. She rolls to her side, pulling the quilt higher, pressing her cheek into the soft folds of her pillow. Her hourglass waits patiently at the table's edge, glinting faintly in the rising light. It does not ask for motion. It does not demand its turn. It simply holds the quiet. And you hold it, too. You are the quiet. Your body, still heavy with rest, is light in spirit. You've released what needed releasing. You've kept what was yours to keep. You have drifted into the deep, and now you float there. Warm, safe, held. The room around you is dim and cool. The last of the candleless wax is curled and hardened, its wick a black thread of rest. A spider lowers itself silently in a corner, stringing a single line from rafter to beam. No rush, no worry, just rhythm. And this rhythm is yours now. It hums through your bones, not as sound, but as feeling. A slow, certain reminder that all is well, that you are not alone, that the night has done its work. The witch's hourglass remains still. No need to turn it, not until the sun crests the hill, not until the next cup is brewed, not until another heart arrives, needing rest. Yours is resting now. Your soul has sighed. The work of healing does not shout. It does not shine. It whispers. And tonight, it whispered to you. And you listened. So let yourself stay, even as the sky brightens. Let your thoughts drift once more through the forest you wandered, past the great oak and the hourglasses that hung like stars, past the mirrored pond and the silver blossom placed near your heart. It still glows there, tucked beneath your ribs. That small piece of you returned, and it will remain. Morning may come, and with it movement and light. But for now, you are still with the witch, still held in the hour between, still weightless, still welcome. Let yourself remain in that welcome. Let sleep have you fully. Let peace stay a while longer. Dawn continues its gentle creep over the forest's edge, brushing soft light over the tops of pine and birch. The sky is open now, pale as linen, threaded with gold, but the forest still holds its hush, as if reluctant to wake, reluctant to disturb the dreams, nestled deep in the roots and leaves. Inside the cottage, warmth lingers in every corner, not just from fire or candle, but from presence. The witch stirs slightly beneath her quilt, one hand resting near her heart, the other still open on the mattress, as if she'd been holding a memory that dissolved into air. The room remains dim, touched only by the faint silver of the rising sun pressing through the windows. And yet, even now, no one rushes. Even the morning is quiet. The hourglass, full now with its golden sands settled below, stands as a symbol of completion. One full measure of night, one cycle of breath, of restoration, of deep, drifting dreams. And still, it waits not for her hand, but for the right moment, for intention, for readiness, because that's the way magic works. The witch opens her eyes at last. Not suddenly, not sharply, as if her eyelids drifted open the way petals do. Slowly, sleepily, trusting the light. She does not speak. There's no need. She simply lies still, letting the breath of the forest enter her lungs, feeling the soft ache in her limbs from being still so long. But it's not an unpleasant ache. It's a grounding, a reminder that she is back in the world, and the world has changed slightly, subtly, because of the healing done through the night, and you are with her still. You haven't quite returned yet. Not fully, and that's just right, because there is a time for rising, and there is a time for resting in the last glow of sleep. You are in that in-between, where dreams haven't left you, where peace still clings to your skin like dew. The witch sits slowly, stretching her fingers, then her arms. She places her bare feet on the wooden floor and smiles faintly as they touch the coolness of morning. The air smells of ash and rosewood. Her candle has burned itself out, but its fragrance lingers like a song humming in the corners. She walks to a shelf and chooses a small bowl, carved from cherry wood. Into it, she drops a few dried leaves, lemon balm, yarrow, and mint. Then pours warm water from a kettle that had rested near the hearth all night. The water hums as it soaks the herbs. She does not drink immediately. She lets them sit. She lets time do its work. And in this stillness, she reaches for the hourglass. She lifts it gently, as one lifts something sacred. She does not turn it. Not yet. She simply holds it, feeling its weight, feeling what it carries. The hourglass, in her hands, seems warmer now. Not from fire, but from use. From having served a night of healing, a night where breath deepened, and hearts softened, and sleep did what waking never could. She turns toward the window, still holding the hourglass. The trees beyond sway in the light breeze. The birds begin their morning songs. Soft, uncertain, but growing. She waits for the right moment, and then, quietly, she turns it. The first grain of sand falls with a sound you cannot hear, but you feel it somewhere deep within, in that place where silence lives. The next cycle begins, not just for her, but for you, too, because this turning of the hourglass does not erase the night. It honors it. It carries it forward. So even as your breath begins to change, even as your fingers twitch and your awareness floats a little closer to waking, you are still part of that quiet magic. You always will be. You carry its rhythm now, its slowness, its calm, its care. And the witch, she knows. She looks once more toward the space beside her bed, where you had rested unseen. She nods once. Not a farewell, but a blessing. A recognition that healing has happened here, and may happen again. That the next time you find yourself weary, or worried, or worn down by the day, you will know the path to the cottage. You will remember the scent of rosemary and sage. You will feel the pull of the falling sand, and you will return, not in body, but in spirit, in breath, in rest. The witch drinks her tea now, warm, and outside, the forest begins to stir. But you remain wrapped in sleep, cradled still by the echoes of the hourglass, the hum of herbs, the warmth of dreams. There is no need to rise yet, no need to rush. You are still in the space between, still held, still home. The morning deepens quietly, golden light sliding in beams across the old floorboards, catching the edges of glass jars, and casting warm pools beneath the shelves. Dust dances slowly in the sunbeams, lazy, weightless, without purpose. Just as you feel now, floating softly in the final folds of sleep. The witch moves through her space without haste. Her hands know the way, gliding from kettle to cup, from cupboard to cloak. She does not disturb the stillness. She carries it with her, as though the hourglass remains turned inside her, even now, measuring each moment, not with urgency, but with grace. A loaf of rye bread waits beneath a linen cloth on the table. Baked yesterday. She slices it slowly, the sound of the knife soft, even musical, as it brushes through crust and crumb. She places a piece on a wooden plate, adding a touch of honey she harvested in late summer. There is no rush to eat, no schedule to keep, only time unfolding like a leaf in spring. One breath at a time, and still, you remain with her. Your body resting somewhere beyond the veil, but your breath still aligned with hers, slow and deep. You haven't opened your eyes, and you don't need to. The dream doesn't require them. It asks only that you feel. And you do. You feel the hush of the morning, the weight of rest still anchoring you, the soft scent of baked bread, of time, of aged wood and fire smoke. You feel the lingering magic of the hourglass. The witch sits again, her cup of tea steaming faintly in her hands. She gazes into it, not as one who reads the future, but as one who accepts the present. The warmth of the cup grounds her, connects her to the earth, to the moment, to the sleep you both shared. She sips. And outside, the forest stretches. You can almost hear the leaves reaching toward the sun, the low hum of insects waking beneath stones, the flutter of wings brushing bark. Even the moss is breathed, drawing in the moisture of the dawn. The witch rises and opens the window, not wide, just a crack, enough to let the outside in. The fresh air slips inside, like silk, cool, green, kissed with dew. It brushes your cheek where you lie, and your body sighs in return. Not to wake, but to shift gently, as if to say, I know, I feel it too. The witch lifts a bowl of water, sprinkled with rose petals, and places it on the windowsill, a morning offering, not to gods or spirits, but to the day itself, a small gesture of welcome, of gratitude, of peace. She hums a tune, low, wordless, familiar. You heard it once, in the dream, and now it echoes softly through the room, a lullaby wrapped in light. It stirs something inside you, not movement, not readiness, but memory, a memory of safety, of stillness, of home. She turns then, as if sensing your thought, and looks toward the space where your presence lingers. She does not speak, but she smiles. A real smile, the kind that doesn't ask anything in return. It says, rest as long as you need. And you do. You allow yourself these last few moments, not to prepare, not to plan, but simply to be, to exist within a room where care was brewed in kettles, where dreams were collected in glass bottles, where time was never wasted, only woven like thread through a loom. You are not in a hurry to leave, and neither is she. The hourglass remains untouched since dawn. Its sand quiet now, its work done. It stands like a promise that all things return. That rest is not a reward, but a right. That sleep, when given space, can be a kind of spell. And tonight, you were the spell's center. You were its reason, its rhythm, its gift. The witch walks to the door and opens it gently. The forest greets her with a golden hush, as if even the sun knows not to speak too loudly yet. She steps outside, her boots pressing into soft moss, her shawl catching the breeze. She leaves the door, ajar, not wide, just enough for you to follow if you choose. Enough to say, you are always welcome, and you always will be. You turn your thoughts inward now, to the breath in your chest, to the warmth in your limbs, to the steady beat of the world around you, a beat you're a part of, one more breath, then another, each one slower, softer, steadier. Sleep still holds you. Let it carry you just a little longer. The world will wait, but for now, this is where you are meant to be. Here, in this quiet morning, in the house of the Hedge-Witch, with the hourglass stilled, and peace tucked gently beneath your ribs. The light of morning stretches gently across the wooden floor, warming the corners where shadow had lingered. The witch's cottage seems to breathe with the forest now, in tune with the rustling branches, the hush of leaves, the birds beginning to stir in the tall canopy outside. And still, all is calm. The witch stands on her stoop, watching a squirrel dart across the mossy path, then vanish into a grove of ferns. She smiles softly, as if she recognizes the small creature's rhythm, a rhythm very different from her own, yet part of the same forest song. Behind her, the hourglass remains inside on the table. The sand has fallen, its time kept, its purpose complete. She will not turn it again until the sun dips low once more. Time, here, is something to be felt, not chased. You will remain in the space she left open, wrapped still in the afterglow of rest. Not quite dreaming now, not quite awake, but somewhere sweeter. The space between. The witch returns inside and closes the door, but not all the way. A narrow sliver of forest air remains, and with it, the scent of pine, of earth, of something ancient and kind. She places a bundle of herbs to dry on a small hook near the hearth. Marjoram and verbena, tied with a string of hand-spun twine. These are for later, for evening tea, for weaving peace into her next cup. She doesn't think far ahead. She doesn't need to. The hourglass has taught her that presence is the deepest kind of magic. She picks up her broom and begins to sweep, not with effort, but with care. The sound of bristles on old wood is soothing, rhythmic, familiar. It is not a task, it is a song. One sung in the language of motion. And you hear it still. You are part of it, somehow. Though your body rests elsewhere, your breath moves to its pace. Soft, easy, free. The witch hums as she works. Not a tune you know, but one your bones remember. A lullaby passed down through wind and root, sung first by the forest itself. The notes don't rise or fall. They float like fog in the trees. She sweeps beneath shelves, around jars, under the windowsill, and every sweep feels like a release of dust, of weight, of whatever was carried too long. Then she sets the broom aside and kneels beside the hearth, placing a few sprigs of pine on the coals. They crackle faintly, releasing a sharp, clean fragrance. Smoke curls up, tracing the air in slow ribbons. The smoke doesn't rise quickly. It dances, winding around the beams, catching the light like something alive. It drifts toward you, and you welcome it, letting its warmth move through your chest, letting it soften whatever remains tense within, letting it signal it is still time to rest. The witch settles into a chair, wrapping her shawl around her shoulders. She pulls a small basket into her lap, filled with dried petals, seed pods, and tiny parchment slips. With fingers worn smooth by years of care, she begins to blend sachets, small pouches of linen filled with scents that soothe the mind. You watch as she adds lavender, lemon peel, a single rose petal, and then a touch of something you can't name. A shimmer of dust, perhaps, or a breath caught in fabric. She ties the sachet with thread, then sets it aside and begins another. Each one is made with someone in mind, though she doesn't always know who. Sometimes they arrive in dreams. Sometimes they simply appear in her thoughts. Names, faces, feelings. And she begins to prepare a gift, a rest, a healing, a little hourglass sewn from scent. Perhaps one of them is meant for you. She pauses over one sachet, holding it longer than the rest. Then she tucks it into a small wooden drawer labeled only with a symbol, a curved line that spirals inward, then out again. This one is waiting, just like you are now, waiting in the in-between. The witch returns to her window and opens it wider this time. The forest answers with a breeze, fresh and cool, brushing her face like the memory of rain. The scent of green things floods the room, and in that moment, she closes her eyes, not to sleep, but to feel, to let the day begin not with movement, but with meaning. You, resting still in the soft edge of sleep, feel that too. You feel how the day begins without needing your effort, how it unfolds, with or without decision, how your only task is to receive, to let your body rest, to let your thoughts dissolve, to let your soul bloom softly in the cradle of quiet. And as the witch breathes in the forest, so do you. You breathe in stillness. You breathe in peace. You breathe in the knowing that healing takes no shape, needs no explanation. It simply happens, in the pauses, in the hush, in the falling of sand. The day has fully opened now, yet inside the cottage, time moves like honey. Slow, golden. Shadows no longer stretch long across the floorboards. Instead, they soften beneath the furniture, curling like dozing cats in corners where the sun has not yet reached. The witch, wrapped in her shawl, leans over her table. In front of her lies a folded piece of parchment, its edges curled and crisp from age. She unfolds it gently, the motion as delicate as turning a leaf between fingers. Symbols mark the page. Not words exactly, but signs that feel familiar to you, even if you do not know their name. This is not a spell. It is a remembering. She touches one symbol with the tip of her finger, and then her eyes close, not in weariness, but in connection. She sees beyond the parchment, beyond the room, beyond the now, and you see it too. A vision forms in your rest, not clear, but warm. The edge of a field in late summer, sunflowers turning their heads, a stream that curves like ribbon, cool on bare feet, children laughing far away, their voices round and echoing like pebbles dropped into a well, and a woman kneeling by a plant, whispering something to its leaves before snipping a sprig. You don't know if the woman is the witch, or someone she remembers, or someone you once were. It doesn't matter. What matters is that time bends here, not in loops, not in circles, but in gentle spirals, like the steam from tea or the shape of wind through pine boughs. The witch folds the parchment again and places it in a drawer. No lock, no seal. She trusts the quiet. She moves to her shelf and chooses a tall jar filled with a pale green powder, dried nettle, finely crushed. She mixes a small spoonful with warm water in a ceramic cup, stirring with a carved stick of juniper wood. The scent that rises is earthy, grounding. She drinks slowly. You feel it, even in your sleep. The warmth traveling down her throat mirrors a warmth in your own chest, as if what she takes into herself is offered to you as well. You are still resting, still surrounded by the hush of her cottage, and by now, it is no longer just her space. It is yours too. It holds your weight without complaint. It accepts your presence without question, and it offers something so rarely found. The permission to do nothing, to just be, to simply rest. You listen to the creak of her chair as she sits again, the faint clink of glass as she arranges a few bottles, violet, brown, and blue, each filled with thick oils and tinctures from springs past. She tips one bottle slightly, just enough to release a single drop onto her wrist. She rubs it in slowly. The scent of sandalwood rises, warm and woody, like bark warmed by sunlight. She closes her eyes again, and you follow, not into sleep this time, but into stillness, that special stillness that comes only after deep dreaming, when the mind has untangled, and the body is softened, and the heart no longer holds its fists tight. There is nothing now but breath, and even that seems effortless. A gentle draw in, a long, slow drift out. The witch takes a threadbare book from her shelf, opens it near the center, and begins to read. She does not move her lips, but you hear it anyway. Not in sound, in sense. The story she reads is not written in language, but in feeling, and the feeling it brings is this: you are safe, you are welcome, you are whole. She reads this into the air, and the air carries it to you, wraps you in it, holds it against your skin, like a second blanket. Outside, the forest sings softly. A morning dove calls once, then settles. The breeze sighs through the tall grass beyond the fence. A beetle hums against the window for a moment, then flutters away, and the hourglass stands, quiet, still, watching, but not pressing. It has no urgency, only awareness. The witch rises and lifts it once more. Her hands cradle it like a familiar truth, and though she does not turn it yet, another cycle will begin. But not now. Now is the space between. The space where healing lingers, where dreams echo faintly behind your eyes, where you are neither lost nor waiting, only here, only breathing, and fully, gently, entirely allowed to rest. The sun now rests just above the tree line, casting golden fingers across the tops of pines, filtering softly through the window panes of the little cottage. The beams no longer chase shadows, but embrace them, mixing dark and light into a quiet harmony. Inside, the witch stands still before the hourglass. She has not yet turned it, not because she has forgotten, but because she knows. Some endings are not meant to be rushed. Some silences are full. Some stillnesses are sacred. She breathes in. She breathes out. Around her, the room has settled into a hush deeper than sleep, deeper than time. It is the hush that comes at the close of something beautiful. And you feel it too, that sense of completion, of fullness, of having wandered far and gently returned. The witch moves to the windowsill and picks up the sachet she crafted in the early morning. The one she tucked away, the one she held for just a moment longer than the rest. She cradles it now, then carries it toward the door. Outside, the forest seems to bow slightly, not in farewell, but in reverence. The trees do not need to speak. They have seen all of this before. They know what healing looks like and what quiet magic it takes. The witch steps barefoot onto the soft moss, her sachet in one hand, her other brushing gently along a fern's feathery edge. She walks a few paces toward the forest's edge, then kneels near the roots of an old, twisted oak. There, she places the sachet gently in the crook of two roots. A gift, an offering, or perhaps a promise, not for herself, but for whoever next comes seeking rest. Whoever next follows the call of the falling sand. She lingers for a moment, her hand pressed to the bark, then slowly rises. Back inside the cottage, she returns to the table where the hourglass stands. It catches the sun now, amber and bone glowing gold, as if lit from within. The witch does not speak. She simply lifts the hourglass, not with urgency, not with ceremony, but with grace, and turns it. The first grain falls, then the next, each one a whisper, each one a doorway, a beginning. The cycle continues, as it always has, as it always will. You're still resting in the warmth of the dream, though the turn of the hourglass echo within you, not as a summons, not as an alarm, but as a gentle knowing. That rest is never truly over. That peace can return again and again. That the world will wait. And healing does not disappear with the light. The witch seats herself once more, the fire low and steady beside her, the scent of herbs still sweet in the air. She closes her eyes, not in sleep this time, but in presence, in gratitude. And in that quiet space, you begin to rise, not suddenly, not all at once, but like light spilling across floorboards, like steam drifting from a teacup. You do not leave the cottage. It remains within you. You carry it now, in your chest, in your breath, in the soft quiet of your thoughts. And somewhere deep inside, you carry the sound of falling sand, the hush of old wood and new morning, the scent of nettle and rose, and the memory of a kind hedge-witch who asked nothing from you, except to rest, and to let the world wait, and to let the hourglass turn in its time. So sleep now, or stay still a little longer. The story has ended, but your peace has only just begun.